Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlsby and David Boren, president of OU and the Big 12 Board of Regents, addressed the media after the conference voted to take Big 12 expansion off the table on Monday. Here are the top 10 quotes from the meeting. 1. Unified or not, let's make people think we are. I would describe it as a thoughtful and candid meeting which showed a great deal of unity and strength in the conference, Boren said, tooting his own horn. It was a very positive meeting in terms of expressing the cohesion of this conference and the unity of this conference on this issue. The decision was unanimous. All the schools participated very actively in the decision. 2. Bowlsby's recommendation. One of the things that we'll probably get asked later on is, did you make a recommendation to the CEOs? Bowlsby said in his introductory remarks. The answer to that is yes, I made one recommendation. And that was that we should bring this process to closure one way or the other, that we shouldn't kick the can down the road. We have undertaken an extensive data analysis process. 3. Were candidates too weak? These are quality universities, quality both in academic terms and in athletic terms, Boren said. 4. Quality, but not quality enough. The decision really didn't have very much to do with the individual elements of those institutions, Bowlsby said. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, obviously, as all of our members do. But this was really about defense of our model. We feel like a full round robin in football and a double round in men's and women's basketball. We had 3 of the last 8 teams in the baseball tournament. We won a softball national championship. There's an awful lot to celebrate. 5. What was that about unity? This was really not a decision not to expand, Bowlsby said, but this was an endorsement and a reinvestment in the strength of the 10 that we have. So I feel very good about that. 6. Good enough to get your own TV network. The marketplace made a decision for us in essence that was something that was not going to move forward at this particular point in time, Boren said. But we explore that. 7. Does this mean the Big 12 no longer feels psychologically disadvantaged? Boren, who initially made that comment in reference to motivation for expansion, backtracked. Some have suggested I've had a brain transplant, he said. Rumors to that effect are not true. And hey, the 10-member Big 12 isn't forever, necessarily. We would never say never, Boren said. But we do feel it would be wrong to indicate that it is an active agenda item, because it no longer is at this point. 8. Did Title X issues affect schools like BYU? We did a thorough Title X investigation, Bowlsby said. Investigation is probably the wrong term. A review to ensure Title X compliance. To make sure that institutions that we were looking at were meeting one of the 3 prongs of Title X in terms of participation opportunities, scholarship allocations. We looked at that. We did a review of a lot of documents relative to NCAA violations, pending investigations, things like that. I mean, we did a very thorough investigation. So I don't know that emanates from anything at Baylor or any place else. I just think that's part of your due diligence when you go through this kind of process. 9. We're great. Our talks were great. Bowlsby applauded the Big 12's strength and its meeting efficiency. We reside in very fertile recruiting grounds, he said. We have great coaches. We have great venues and great traditions. I think we are always going to be concerned about revenue. As we went through this process, we certainly looked at schools from the vantage point of, are they additive? I think there are many of them that are additive. Having said that, in the end, I think the additive nature of them was probably offset by some of the things we might have to give up. I would say that I didn't total up all the hours. It was an adequate time. Maybe 5 hours of sometimes very philosophical discussions about our rivalries, discussions about our competitive program that we have now, how it operates, the cohesion that the conference has now. 10. And some unity one more time, in my opinion, Boren said. There's not a single school in this conference that is looking to go elsewhere. We are committed